Hey guys, today we're gonna make scrambled eggs, okay? Starts off with olive oil, wait till it expands a little bit before you add in your eggs. Kinda like this, okay? And then you can use butter if you want, but I like oil. Sometimes I use butter. It's your choice. I don't really add any cream to it. They say it makes it more lighter, more creamy, but that's not true because one, you could easily overcook them, then they'll be hard anyways. It's really more about technique and controlling your heat. So you put in your 3 eggs. Again, the heat has got to be on medium-low to medium at most. And just kind of stir them gently, don't go all nuts. It's good to use a spatula because I find it does a better job, but you can use a wooden spoon if you really want. So the first little while you're going to just be stirring them, then later you're going to kind of be folding them onto each other. If you see I'm kind of pushing it gently, then yeah, I'm kind of trying to fold it on to itself. Now, the great thing about eggs, they're very cheap, they're economical, you can have them any time of the day, and let's just say you make a mistake and mess it up, well, you know what, it's still very edible, and next time you just try again, lower heat, higher heat, different technique, right? So I have mine on medium-low right now, 3rd or 4th setting on your stove. Sometimes you can, boost it all the way up to high for like 30 seconds, but you have to work on the heat and off the heat. I'll show you a little technique like that, but I'm not going to be putting it on high. The highest I have had it in this video is medium, and you don't really have to do that. That's just to save time. Now, if you saw what I just did there, I kind of swirled the top of it around, right, at the edges. Some eggs get caught up there, so I kind of swirl them and kind of catch them right back in the pan. I'll be doing that a few more times in this video. Now, a lot of people do say if you add oil and butter together, the butter will not burn. Since it's the solids in the butter that burn, I just don't really believe that's true at all. I mean, it could easily just be, the butter's added in a bit later, so it could be more time, but no, it can still burn. The reality is, if you want butter not to burn, there's 2 methods. One, you could clarify it, which basically means, just cooking it until it gets a little bit brown, but it could almost burn, so be careful, and then you kind of just strain out the foamy parts. That way, it definitely will prevent it. Or you could let the butter be out to room temperature, which is also another good method, let it be out there for 15 minutes. That way, it's a lot warmer, so it won't all have to wait for there's cold parts and warm parts, and it kind of cooks more together and more uniform. That's basically the key to butter. So, if you really want to add butter, you could. I mean, it definitely does add flavor to the oil, but usually I just do one or the other, not both. I don't really find it's necessary for this. Now for seasonings, salt and pepper is generally what I do. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of cayenne pepper, or even I'll just chop up some garlic finely and I'll just fry it a little bit, and I'll throw it in. It makes a good garlic flavor, but you can use anything you want this world. You can add some paprika, which is a nice smoky flavor. You can go a bit sweeter, you can use nutmeg, believe it or not, some people have done that in their eggs. Or you could even just roast a few vegetables in a different pan, and throw them together with the eggs, or just roast them all in the same pan. It really doesn't matter. Only kind of time where it does matter to use 2 different pans, fry the vegetables in one and the eggs in the other. If you're in some extremely fancy fine dining restaurant where every single tiny detail has to be done correctly. And the good thing about being a home cook and, just controlling it all yourself, you don't have to worry about all that stress and time management. It's a lot easier this way, it really, really is. I don't know why they push themselves that hard in some places, it just seems kind of foolish. Whoa. You probably didn't hear that. That was my toast. I'm just going to go over there for a second and kind of grab it. Now don't worry, a few seconds without me constantly stirring, it's not going to destroy the eggs. But you definitely do want to stir frequently, alright? This is just something you can do. You can monitor it yourself. Okay, I'm back. See that? Just a few seconds. Not really a huge deal, but I don't recommend doing this. So I just got my toast on the plate and I just cut it, the way I like it. 2 kinds of triangles. And you can see there's more smoke coming out of the eggs. And some parts are forming and some parts are not. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a sweep like this. Okay. I'm about ready very quickly to kind of go on and off the heat for a few seconds. A lot of chefs do this. This is really one way to stop it from overcooking or sticking to the bottom, but again, it's kind of optional. But I still say it should be done in my opinion, especially if you're one of those guys that likes to play with high settings and low settings all the time. This is an absolute must. But in this case, I'm in no hurry, so mine's on a relatively low setting, medium-low. Okay, I'm just kind of adjusting it a little now. You see me take it off the heat. Again, my pan's got a very thick bottom, so there's going to be a lot of residual heat still cooking it in the bottom, and the pan is still hot. It's not like you lift it off the heat, it goes cold right away, right? The pan has been in a very hot stove for about 4 minutes, plus extra minute I used to heat it up, so it's fine. As you can see there, it's all still cooking, there's still smoke leaving, so it's really cooking the eggs. Oh, and one important note, if it looks completely cooked in the pan, it'll be overcooked on the plate, because the eggs keep cooking as they leave. All food will keep cooking as it leaves the pan. Why? Well, it's just in a pan, and it's still really hot, right? Well, of course it is. So in that case, when you take it out of the pan, it's going to continue to cook. Now, it's not going to go all crazy and everything, but you definitely want to remove it just slightly before. And you do a few practice tries, it'll be fine, right? You're going to learn the technique. And you can see it's really starting to form. I like my eggs to be a little bit creamy. Some people don't. Some people like them overcooked or really cooked, which again, that's still fine by me. So I did this video in real time. Most of the time I won't really do one in real time, but this is just constant stirring. So some people are going to wonder, how long do I stir for? Am I stirring too long? Am I making this mistake? This is a very simple one, and I personally believe scrambled eggs is the best way to eat an egg. I mean, sure, an omelet is nice and fancy looking and it just looks cool on your plate, but honestly, it's a pain to do and it's a lot harder to master the technique, and I just feel the flavors kind of spread a little bit better just with the scrambled eggs. It doesn't look as nice. It's all an omelet really is. It's just fancy scrambled eggs, but don't get me wrong, omelets are great. Now, a lot of people like to think the yolks are so unhealthy and they should be taken out every single time. That's really not true, because you can even ask a medical practitioner. There's a lot of nutrients in them. Now, if you eat eggs every single day, then that's different. You may want to take out the yolk sometimes. Okay, I'm just going to put it over my toast. That is my breakfast. But if you do want to take out the yolks, don't buy the egg whites because they're more expensive. Just use the egg yolks, separate them, or even just cook them and cut the yolk right out of it. That way you're still going to have a little tiny bit left, and not too much. So I just put it over toast, and I serve it with some orange juice, and that is your basic breakfast.